Well, I mean, I'm just saying it's not that I'm unwilling to help. It's just I want you to understand that I'm not a computer programmer. Oh, we know Ollie. We know you're Ollie the octopus, private eye. We're stumped. You see, we've the computer programmers have tried. So we're just gonna try some other things and bring in some new perspective. Sometimes what you need is a new perspective. I said, all right, all right. I can be there. Um, how is Monday afternoon for you? That'd be great. That'd be great. Anything we need to have set up for you when you get here? I said, just a cup of coffee would be great. So this was an unusual call for Ollie. Because it was a problem with an app. Actually, three apps, all run by the same company. And it kept on crashing. And yes, a private eye would not normally be who you'd call, but like they said, they tried everything. Their internal programmers tried, they brought in some consultant programmers, tried. So I got in that Monday afternoon. I said, all right, well, show me the app. So they showed him the app on, they had it on three different devices, the three different apps, I mean. And load up just fine. And they were all three different kind of similar games, so they were puzzle games. And when you got through, about halfway through the first puzzle of each one, it would turn red, turn green, and then shut down. Not the whole phone, just the app. And what's weird is it works fine in the testing environment. It's just when you actually go live and go out to the server and back, that's where it stops up. See, look, this phone isn't running on the network. It's just running locally. It's connected directly to our programming machine. And it works. So you can do the whole puzzle. I showed him and did the whole puzzle. I said, well, I mean, I guess that means something's wrong at the server. That's the thing. We've run all the diagnostics and there's nothing obvious there. And we've tried shutting it down. I mean, say we rent some space on a server, but at this point, the games are popular. We've got pretty much a whole server to ourselves. And yeah, we've shut it down, brought it back up again. We've done diagnostics. It's nothing. Nothing's happened at the server. I said, huh. But yet, let's try something. You mentioned that you've got part of a server. I said, yeah, we've got, I think now, 85% is ours, and there's a few other random things on there. Well, I said, well, could you, like, rent space on a totally different server? I said, yeah, that'd be pretty easy to set up. That would take a couple hours. Not to host the whole thing. I said, no, just to host, like, some, honestly, enough to run one of each of the games would be enough to test this. Oh, on that small of a scale, yeah, I can set that up. Yeah, give me about an hour. So they went and set it up, and I just kind of hung out, learned about the company a little bit, walked around, had some coffee, came back up. Said, it works, you're right. I set it up as just an isolated server, just running on a pretty good desktop computer, like a gaming computer that we had here. And it works fine. I said, well, where is the server? Like, physically, where is it? I said, oh, physically? Physically, it's out in Ashburn, Virginia. I said, well, I think I, and maybe one of you should come along. Need to go to Ashburn. So they got in the car, the head programmer. We went down to the server farm. It's like a big office building, except only a few people work there. It's just these servers. Can you stop that, please, also? take it off your wrist. That's safe. And they'd called ahead and said they were coming. And the person that met them was the head of security for the building. Said, "Hey, listen, I know you're here to inspect the servers. We also have some security camera footage you can check if you want." And so, yeah, your server's in room 405. And I said, "Have you had any other reports of outages, blinks, other problems with things running these servers?" I said, "No, but a lot of the other servers in that room, I mean, there's not much in the room. It's a pretty small room." Stop, Elsa, just sit still. Are pretty idle. They're like personal libraries and stuff like that. It's not something they get, most of them aren't stuff that get used very often, so. This server is the biggest one in the room, and it's much more active than the other servers. So if there was a problem in the room, we might not have noticed it yet, yeah. Alright, show me to the room, please. So they walked into the room, and Ollie went in first. He said, "Oh, I think I see your problem." I said, "What?" "Goblins." "Excuse me?" "Come look." And the computer programmer guy and the security guy came around the corner, and there, in amongst the server towers, were 6 goblins sitting there, plain as day. They hadn't even noticed the visitors yet. And they had strewn candy wrappers and soda bottles and things like that all over the room. And the security guy said, "Hey, you can't be in here." At that, the goblins all stood up and looked at him. And they started darting this way and that, running around like crazy, trying to escape, but there was only one room for the door. They weren't very smart, and they kept on banging into the servers, and the security guy said, "Stop, stop, 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 you're going to break something." They wouldn't stop. I said, "Well, lucky for you, I know a few things about goblins." And he got out a whistle that he had with him, because he suspected goblins might be involved. It sounded like goblin mischief. And he blew the whistle as hard as he could, and it was this sharp, sharp, high, shrill note. And the people covered their ears, and the goblins, though, they covered their ears and just like collapsed on the ground in a pile of quivering misery. And I stopped. I said, "All right, goblins, listen up. You stop this running around nonsense, or I'll blow it again." And they stood up and they looked at Ollie in fear and expectation. I said, "You know the deal. This might have been a fine home for you for a while, but you gotta go. Out of the building. All the way out. Mr. Security Guy, I think you're gonna want to escort these goblins out of the building." The security guy said, "Sure. Where will they go?" "Not your problem," Ollie said. "They'll find some other warm heat source to latch on to. Goblins don't like to be cold. So they go anywhere there's going to be some sort of a warmth. And then they make a mess." And the programmer guy said, "I mean, I can see that it's probably not good for 6 goblins to be living next to the server, but why does it... I still don't quite understand. I didn't know goblins were real, but how does it affect the server?" I said, "Come here and I'll show you." "Which one is their server?" So there's the biggest one, right there in the middle. The one with the orange lights. Labeled 254. I said, "All right, come take a look." And when they got up close, they could see that there were candy wrappers, and peanuts, almonds, soda bottle caps, little pieces of bread, little bits of cheese, a couple of crickets, like for the fried crickets that you eat, all stuck up in the server, in between the fins, in between the layers. So that's the problem. These guys have been using your server to warm up their snacks. So anytime it gets hot, anytime anybody, if it gets hot at this point, shorts out, and quits. Security guy said, "I'm so terribly sorry. I wouldn't have been looking for goblins. Um, I'll have to have the CEO of the company give you a call. I suspect some compensation's probably due. I feel like my job's in trouble here. I shouldn't have let goblins in here. I don't feel too bad. Goblins are very sneaky, and you can't see goblins on cameras usually. So, you know, maybe a manual inspection's in order, but I don't think it's anything you could have anticipated." The car ride back to the app company was, first they rode in silence for a while. And the app guy said, "Did you really, those are, how did you, goblins, is there a lot of this sort of thing going around?" Well, I said going around now, but, 8 out of every 10 calls I answer, it's something normal. But every once in a while, you get something weird. I like to be prepared for the weird things. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff here in my bag. Figuring goblins might be it, I brought along the whistle. I have some compressed air for trolls. I have shaving cream for mermaids. Mermaids hate shaving cream. I got some hot sauce. That was in case it's, well, wyverns really, but most of the mammalian chimeras don't like hot sauce. But, a wyvern would be a weird thing to find in a server farm. You're going to stop. I don't... It's enough for me to absorb that goblins are real and they don't like whistles. Thank you, Ollie. I didn't honestly think that hiring a private eye was going to get us there, but I guess I'm glad we did. And that was the case of Ollie and the crashing app.